And here is my goal with this. I'm gonna try to make something sort of cinematic using this thing. YouTube, what is good? Good morning. We are still in Utah at the Sony Kando Creative Retreat event thing, and today we are trying out this crazy thing, the Sony Rx100 VII with this, I don't even know what you call this, super vlogger grip thing. So if you've been to the channel before, you obviously know how my videos are shot and how they work. If this happens to be your first video, typically what I like to do is incorporate more vlogging elements into my photography videos. I think it makes for a better storyline, a better narrative, and it's more personal for y'all, the viewers. So when I have a shot or something that I don't feel like I need to bring my large camera for, I typically record that on a GoPro, and a GoPro is pretty good, but I've always wanted something like this, a small point and shoot camera that's extra powerful for those moments where you don't need the big camera, but you still want to maximize the footage you're getting and get the best picture quality possible. And I have a feeling this camera is going to do just that. This thing is supposed to be a beast. It's packed with power, and Sony hooked it up with the crazy vlogging kit thing. I don't necessarily know if I would use this, but it's kind of a necessity because you need to have the microphone somewhere that's not blocking the flip up screen. So I don't know, maybe I'd take the bottom piece off or something like that, but there is these buttons down here to start your video, zoom in, and all that cool stuff. So I guess with that being said, let's flip from this camera to this and we'll start the vlog test. I'm gonna do maybe a 6-7 minute vlog where I just copy Casey Neistat and just show you what I'm doing for the day. And then at the end of the video, I'll explain my thoughts and what I like, dislike, and my final verdict on this camera. So I hope you enjoy. Hit that thumbs up. Now, switch to this camera. So we are now filming on the Rx100 VII. This is the camera that I shot the intro on, the new Sony a7R Mark IV. But this is a quick comparison in the same lighting and in the same picture profile, so you can get an idea of the difference between something like this, which is full frame, to something like this, which is a point and shoot. This was shot at 16mm, and this shot now is at 24mm. And let me tell you, I can tell that the camera is closer because your boy is looking sleepy in the flip out screen. So real quick mini tour of where we are staying. This is the kitchen area right here. This is the living room area. Currently have some files processing here. We sleep up there in that like loft area. It's a pretty nice setup. Shout out to Sony for hooking it up. One cool thing that I can tell right now in my peripheral vision, I can see that up here in the screen, the camera has a little box around my eye, meaning it is locked in to my sleepy looking eyeball, but it's tracking focus, so you're not gonna lose focus, which is always good, especially when you're vlogging. You don't want the camera like hunting back and forth with the background. Got up super early today. Chris got out at 4:45. I got out at about 5:45. But today we got a few classes to go to. Me and Chris are gonna shoot a few things. First thing we gotta do is get breakfast. The next few clips I'm gonna film in a super flat picture profile 9 on a Sony, so we can get an idea if the footage is kind of color gradable, maybe slightly cinematic, something like that. Breakfast, let's get it. So this camera has something called Steady Shot built into it, which obviously by the name is something designed to give you more steady footage. And if you're vlogging or you're doing any filming while walking, you can get a lot of up and down camera movement, which can be kind of disorienting to someone watching. So something like this is definitely a good feature. I'll let you be the judge on if it's doing anything to the footage or not. And this clip right here has that Steady Shot feature off. I'm trying my best to walk at the same cadence. So like I said, I'll let you be the judge and decide if this feature really does stabilize the footage. So while we're here, there's a bunch of different classes we can take throughout the week. I took one this morning. Now I got a little bit of break for lunch, but a lot of really interesting ones. We did this DJI class earlier in the week. super cool. So one cool feature of this camera is it has a low aperture of 2.8, meaning that if you're vlogging like this and you get kind of close to the camera or you put something close to the camera, you can get a pretty decent depth of field with some bokeh behind you, which is always a nice feature in a vlog because it separates you from the background and it just looks a little bit more professional. It's just good to remember the farther away you get from the camera, the less pronounced that depth of field effect gets with that low aperture. Lunch is complete. Met back up with Chris. Chris is about to go find a model to shoot, and here is my goal with this. I'm gonna try to make something sort of cinematic using this thing. Now obviously it's not gonna be as cinematic as, you know, a full frame A7R whatever crazy camera, but I do think it's possible, so we're gonna try it out. I think this thing might have some level of slow motion as well, so while Chris is shooting with the model, we are gonna try to make some type of cinematic sequence and see what we can come up with. So Chris just finished up shooting with two of the models that are here. I think the second location, the one in the red jacket, came out particularly well. Now we're looking for snacks, and I'm taking this camera back to return. I'm gonna go through all the footage, look at everything. I might make a few photos with it before I leave. I'll go through everything and tell you what I think, what my final thoughts are. I can already tell you though, this is an extremely powerful piece of equipment, especially for its size. We'll get the final thoughts once I can really look at everything outside of the camera. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. I'm now back home in Georgia. That trip was amazing. Had an awesome time out there. Really glad I got to try out all of these new cameras, this new technology from Sony. Let's talk about this RX100 Mark VII. Specifically, who is this camera for? Now, we can talk specs, we can talk all that stuff all day long. For me, y'all know I'm a very practical application person, so in today's video, I tried elements of using the camera, what it was for, vlogging, and also using it for things that it's not for, that you might want to try to use it for, things like cinematic and slow-mo sequences, and I think it did a pretty good job. Pretty much what I would have expected from a camera like this. The reality is it's a point and shoot camera with an extreme zoom lens on it, and it's not going to give you the same level of quality as, say, a 70-200 regular lens or anything like that. But that's not exactly what it's for. It's designed for this balance of high quality plus convenient small packaging, essentially. But when you do put that crazy vlogging kit on there, it doesn't really become a small package. So it's going to be up to you if you really feel like using that. For me, I think the camera shines. It's its best when you don't bother using that vlogging package thing. It's best to be used as its own small miniature brick you can fit in your pocket, take anywhere with you, and use for pretty high quality 4K video as well as great photos. At this point, I think camera technology is getting so good that essentially anyone can use anything. It just comes down to small little circumstances and different things about each camera that make it perfect for certain users. So with this RX100, I think the main thing that separates it from other cameras and will determine if it's a camera for you or not is if you want to be able to change the lens on the camera. Sony has their A series, the A6300, I think they have a 6400, maybe even a 6500 now, I'm not 100% sure, and those cameras are very good. You can change the lens on them. Because you can change the lens, because you get access to all these different lenses that could potentially get you a better picture, you make the camera much larger. At certain points, you probably won't be able to stick that A series into your pocket, but with the RX100 Mark VII, you can stick that camera in your pocket while still getting exceptional video and still quality, just maybe not that same level of versatility you get with the A series, being able to switch lenses. So for me, I look at the RX100 as a nuanced camera. If you fall into really two main categories, it's probably going to be the camera for you. One, do you vlog? This is going to be a great vlogging camera to document your entire day because it's so small and not intrusive. Two, is convenience a big deal for you and something you're looking for in this camera? If you're looking for something with a little more versatility, a little more options, something you can start building a catalog of lenses with, it might not necessarily be the route you want to go in. You might want to go with something like that, a 6300 or something like that. Now, I'm not an expert on Sony. I try to include a lot of different video examples in this video so you can look at them for yourself, make a decision for you if this is going to be the camera that you need. For me, I'll have to think about it for a little while. The price tag on it is very high, and I don't know if it really falls into that perfect spot for me in between my cameras because I don't use a lot of Sony. It's kind of weird matching the footage, but who knows, in the future I could, grab that as a point and shoot that I keep with me in my pocket or I take with me to sporting events or something like that. With that, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe.